Hey guys, Adrian here from the Digital Dojos at DigitalDojos.com, and today I want to talk about something that's going on pretty big in the tech world, in the tech news space, and that is the story of Mt.Gox and Bitcoin. Now, it's been a while since I've done some of these news roundups, but I want to get more back into informing you guys about the big stuff that's going on in the tech world, and I think this week and in the last 24 hours, you're going to see a lot of talk about Mt.Gox and what is essentially Mt.Gox, what is Bitcoin if you don't know. So I'm going to try and do a brief summary. I have full videos of this going on and more detail and explanation. But Bitcoin as itself, if you haven't heard of it, it's essentially a cryptocurrency. So it's a digital currency online. I like to view it more as a network. And it is essentially a currency like any other currency, like US dollar or whatever, but it has no backing behind a government or anything of that sort. So as of now, it is a currency that the price fluctuates based on demand, and very simply put, it is there because we value it, of course. It's like any currency. We value US dollar, such and such, so it has a value to us, a $100 bill, a $20 bill. The same thing with Bitcoin. Now, Bitcoins in the very early days were mined. You can set up mining rigs to essentially your computer would run, and it would run these long forms of code, and you would essentially mine data, and you would get a percentage of a Bitcoin. And over time, over months or however fast your rig was, you would be able to accumulate Bitcoins over time. Nowadays, there's many exchanges from which you can buy the Bitcoin from. Now, I've only been trading Bitcoin for the last couple months. It's something I just really recently got into. But Mt.Gox is one of the first ones I looked into when I really didn't look at any of the other exchanges. Nowadays, I use exchanges like Coinbase, etc. Now, exchanges are places where you can buy Bitcoins, much like real stocks in real life. Mt.Gox is was one of the leading and biggest exchanges from which you could buy Bitcoin. And some fun fact, Mt.Gox, it actually stood for Magic the Gathering, because it used to be a Magic the Gathering card game where you can, I believe, sell and buy cards on the site. Nowadays, it was a Bitcoin site. It was based actually here in Japan, in Tokyo, run by one of the CEOs known as Mark Karpeles. I don't know if I'm pronouncing his last name right. Anyhow, there's been a big explosion of news. Reason being, over the last month, there's been a lot of things going on within Mt.Gox specifically that has kind of gave Bitcoin a bad name recently. So let's get down to the issues and kind of summarize what's been going on. So a little bit over a month ago, essentially there was issues with withdrawing your Bitcoins. It was causing delay, and this was via Mt.Gox, only Mt.Gox. So you were having issues withdrawing your coins, so on and so forth. They later went on to pause the Bitcoin transfer, so you couldn't pull anything out or deposit, and they were doing testing. Later on, they found a malleability bug within their site that allowed essentially to get with, I don't know the total technicality behind it all, but there was a bug essentially allowing people to duplicate Bitcoins and have these essentially fake coins out there, and that was obviously there's stolen coins, and it was costing Mt.Gox money. So in the end of it, there was a full-on Bitcoin pause via Mt.Gox. You couldn't take your coins in and out. You were kind of just sitting there, and this caused the Bitcoin price specifically in this one exchange to drop from somewhere around $700 all the way down to at one point just under $100. Now, all the other Bitcoin exchanges kind of fluctuated due to this, big drop, though they stood around $500 to $600 in range. So this was a pretty big drop. It was, all Bitcoin exchanges were about level around $700, and this one bug caused Mt.Gox's price to soar all the way down. Now, after much speculation and a lot of bad PR on Mt.Gox's part, at one point the CEO was even blaming Bitcoin software rather than the incompetency of his site and the security of the site. And just recently, he resigned from the Bitcoin Foundation, which is kind of the big conglomerate of all the Bitcoin exchanges, etc. He recently resigned, and then just today they've announced that they lost over 750,000 Bitcoins. Now that's over, I believe, $350 million plus worth of money that they've lost. And since then, it was announced by a spokesman that they will be confirmed filing for bankruptcy. So direct quote from the spokesman was, Mt.Gox has confirmed it will file bankruptcy, and they're currently in private discussions with other members of the Bitcoin community. So this is kind of just a backtrack of everything that's happened in the last couple, the last month to 2 month time frame. But as of today, right now, once they release this news, Mt.Gox site doesn't exist. It's literally down. Their Twitter accounts have been all deleted. All the tweets are deleted. their site cannot be accessed, and for those who were able to access it earlier, all trading was halted. So essentially, there's a big freeze going on right now. Previously there was freezes due to the security bug within their website, but now there's been a big issue of the site's completely down. They're filing for bankruptcy, and now the big issue is everybody's wondering what's going to happen to our money, what's going to happen to our bitcoins at that, and Mt.Gox isn't saying anything. So imagine your bank completely closing one day. They're not telling, and they don't tell you anything. They don't tell you what's going on. They don't tell you what's going on with your money and all of this, that, and the other. So the big question now is, should people, trust this in the future, if it even has a chance of surviving this? But beyond that, I'm sure it's going to lose a lot of customers, myself included. But the bigger thing is, people are wondering what's going to happen to their money, what's going to happen to their bitcoins. So this is a really, really big ongoing story right now within the Bitcoin and cryptocurrency world. Now, other Bitcoin exchanges such as Coinbase, etc., have come out saying that, do keep in mind this is one exchange, and this does not reflect in any way the nature of Bitcoin as a whole. If anything, the only good thing that comes out of this is, as people say on Reddit, the cancer is out. Mt.Gox is out of the equation now, pretty surely, with the filing for bankruptcy, all of that. After all these issues get solved, it's back to business, and you will probably see all the other exchanges kind of start to go up little by little now that this issue is handled and finally, in a sense, stabilized. But again, this has no reflection, I think, and personally, I think, from and I guess you can say an investor standpoint, somebody who's investing in Bitcoin, I think this is nothing on that of the bigger image of Bitcoin and the bigger picture of the network. This is just one company and one guy who has really handled the situation very, 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 very poorly, and you saw the company collapse due to that. Anyways, that is right now the developing Mt.Gox story. It is very much ongoing, and there will be updates posted, and I'll try to keep you guys updated via my website, DigitalDojos.com, because I'm going to be writing an accommodating article, which you can find down below. Love to hear what you guys think. I deeply apologize if you were in Mt.Gox and you had a lot of money invested and you happened to lose some, but I guess that is the nature of the game. So I do thank you very much for watching. Don't forget to hit that like button and subscribe, and I'll catch you all in the next video.